Hi guys. If you can play on your Spotify number 9, the Flowing Brave, then we can be on the same music schedule. So you can pop that on now. At the back, knees apart or together. Either way is fine. Whatever feels good for you today. And then just gently bringing your head down onto the mat. So thank you firstly for getting up on a Saturday morning to spend some time with me on the mat. And we'll just take a few moments here to breathe and some of those feelings that come up when you start to think about that loss of control on these times of uncertainty. Breathing deep into the belly and allowing those feelings to rise up. Often this can be linked to fear or a feeling of being frightened of the future. And let's see if we can turn that fear into something different today. Through movement of the body, we can start to shift that fear. And let's see if in this time of uncertainty, we can find opportunity as well. Today, we're focusing on handstands. You'll need a free wall around you today. If you don't have one, I'll give a couple of options for you as well. Gently pushing up onto your hands and knees, stacking your hands underneath the shoulders. We'll do a few cat-cows to start. So inhale, belly drops to floor, gaze up. And exhale, push the floor away. And then just flowing through with your own breath. So I encourage you just to play today and see how you go. Find a place of opportunity. Coming to a neutral spine, we'll walk the hands out. We're coming into an active puppy pose. So as you inhale, we're going to drop the belly down and the chest down, but keep gazing between the hands, and fingers are active. So we're pushing up little cupcakes into the hands. And exhale, you curve the spine, look towards the belly and push the floor away, keeping active through the fingers. Inhale, chest drops, gaze towards the hands. The more you push into the fingers and you cupcake the fingers, the more active your shoulders will be. Exhale, tucking the tailbone, gazing towards the belly. And taking a few more breaths just like this. If this really starts to hurt the shoulders, you can bring the palms of the hands onto the floor. And the reason why we're doing this is to really activate the shoulder girdle, because we're working on our handstand strength today. Exhale, one more time, gazing towards belly. Then gently placing the hands on the floor. And we're coming all the way down to our belly now. So it's a really great way to start with handstands, starting on the floor. So we're going to get our correct alignment on the floor first, and then we'll later on take it upstairs. So with our handstands, the posture that we're looking for, see how stacked all my arms are? This is really going to help you so you're not fighting with strength all the time, that you can actually get balance as well. So remember this, nice and up near the ears with barely any space. And the other most important thing is, so when people go upside down, the first thing they often do is this. So they're curving through the spine. Really dangerous for the lower back. We're going to tilt the pelvis under and the front ribs so you're straight. So when you're standing up, it looks like this, yeah? So we're going to do that on the floor first. So gaze between the fingers, tilt the tailbone down, tilt the top ribs down, and push through the hands and the toes. Gaze between the middle of the hands, which is where you'd be looking in a handstand, or just in front of the hands if you're in a handstand too sometimes. So tuck the tailbone more and curve up, so suck the belly in and up towards the spine so it lifts off the floor. So you want space underneath the belly and the hips. Tilt tailbone down, suck upper ribs in so we're really straight. Maybe lift the front hands off the floor and the back feet if you're feeling really strong. For 3, 2, 1. And relax down. Take a breath. Gently rolling yourself onto your back, the other side. So this is also a great way to get your alignment in handstand. So hands up, feet down. From here, you can already notice, put your hand behind your back, you can feel that space. We want to try to eliminate that space. So bend the knees and really curve the spine so it's in contact with the floor, then straighten the legs out as much as you can. Now you notice if you're pushing the back into the floor, you're already switching on your core. You should already start to feel it. Hands up, and then push your lower back into the floor as much as you can. Tuck your floating ribs in, push your little lower back in, raise the arms off the floor on top. So you're in your handstand position. If you're feeling really strong, you can lift the legs as well. Pointing the toes, push the lower back into the floor. Don't let it lift. Keep holding for 10. Should start to shake. 9, 8, 7, 6. Keep pushing lower back in. Don't let it rise. 3, 2, 1, and drop. Gently rolling over onto your front and coming into a baby cobra, or if you're feeling warm up, you can come up to your up dog. And just taking this a little passive here, just a little rest after that intense ab workout quite early on in the practice. Maybe gazing over the left shoulder and gazing over the right shoulder. We'll tuck our toes and gently come into a downward facing dog. Spread the fingers wide, push through the thumb and index finger. This is my first downward dog of the day, so I'm going to pedal out my legs because they feel quite stiff. Now with your head, if you look towards your belly button, you will release the back of your neck. So just have a play with that. With our downward facing dog, I often cue to have the hands quite wide so you can wrap the shoulder blades around the armpits and that you have space in the upper shoulders. With our handstands, it's quite different. So we'll be talking about the difference today. Looking between the hands, stepping one foot between the hands. If you can't make it, just grab your leg and bring it forward. Step your back foot forward between the hands. Inhale to halfway lift and exhale to fold. Bend through the knees and slowly wind your way up to standing. Hands to heart, close the eyes. Take a breath. Relax the shoulders back and down. Coming back into our handstand technique, raise your arms up. In our down dog, we often have wide shoulders so we can wrap the shoulder blades and create space. With our handstands, we need to eliminate that space. Took me a long time to learn this, so I hope that this is helpful for you. Having wide hands is actually quite dangerous for the shoulders, and it relies way much more on strength than balance. So what we want to do is eliminate that so we don't wreck our shoulders. And if you get rid of that space and push up, this is already where you're going to be in your handstand. You're going to tuck in your ribs. So rather than doing this, you're going to tuck it in, squeeze your glutes, tuck your tailbone down, maybe lift up onto your toes. We're going to hold this for 10. 9, 8, keep tucking in those ribs till the tailbone. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hands come to heart. Inhale to lift and exhale to fold. Inhale to flat back. Exhale, hands down. Option to step, but if you want to jump, bring your hands a little closer together than normal and try and get lift as you jump back. This is also going to prepare you for your handstands. First chaturanga, lower the knees. So bring the chest forward, keep the elbows tucked in tight, slowly lower to the floor. Inhale to upward facing dog. If you want to take this further, you squeeze the glutes and the thighs lift. Tilt the tailbone, and don't forget to squeeze the glutes a lot here to protect lower back. Tuck toes, downward facing dog. Pedaling the legs. Shaking the head, no, nodding the head, yes. Releasing that neck. This is a way that we can remove and move through flowing that stagnant energy that might be within you. Gaze between the hands. I move my hands closer together if I'm going to do a handstand jump. Bend my knees and then try and get control to jump forward. The more you control the jump and the more silent, the more strength you'll get. Inhale to halfway lift. Exhale to fold. So you can incorporate those Jump throughs in all of your practice if you wish. Inhale, hands up, and exhale, hands to heart. Handstand practice again. So eliminate that space from the ears, tilt the tailbone down, suck in the floating ribs. So you're almost like, it's a totally different feeling to normal standing with the curve in the spine. Come up onto your toes, squeeze your glutes as much as you can. Really important to squeeze the glutes in handstand. Push up through the hands. Let's hold for 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Slowly bringing the heels down. Inhale to flat back. Exhale, hands down. Option to step or to jump. If you're jumping, bend your knees, hands a little closer together. Try and get that control as you jump back to make it soft. Option to lower knees or full chaturanga. Inhale to come up. And exhale to down dog. Taking a couple of breaths here. Pedaling out the legs. I have quite a bit of movement in my down dog because I have very tight hamstrings. It takes a while for them to warm up. Gaze between the hands. Step your hands a little closer together if you're doing your handstand jump through. Bend your knees. Try to control that jump as you come forward. Inhale to halfway lift. Exhale to fold. Bend through the knees, sweeping hands up. You know where we're going. Hands up to sky, eliminate that space, come onto tippy toes, squeeze glutes, tuck tailbone, tuck the front ribs in. This is the most important practice for your handstand, to be straight. Getting your form first and understanding how your body feels is the best way to start to naturally progress into your handstand. Exhale, hands come to heart. Inhale, rise. Exhale to fall. Inhale to flat back. Exhale, hands down, step or jump. If you're taking the jump, hands a little closer together. Get that weight into the shoulders as you jump back. Now, lower the knees if you wish, or full chaturanga. Inhale to come up, and exhale to down dog. Taking a few breaths here. Maybe moving into the down dog or finding stillness, whatever feels like your body needs today. Gaze between the hands. Are you ready for a little jump? Hands closer together, so shoulder width apart. Bend the knees, look at where you want to go. So even a little bit before the hands, in front of the hands, and control that jump forward. Inhale to flat back. Exhale to fold. Sweep hands behind you. Inhale to come up to chair pose. So we're squeezing those legs together, and rather than again dipping into that lower back, which eventually will start to cause you back pain, if you tilt the tailbone and you control with the core, we're going to protect and wrap all these muscles around our spine so we're active and not dumping into our joints, which is what power yoga is all about, getting that structure around the joint. Come a little deeper, squeeze the legs a little more, look over your knees, make sure you can see your toes. Exhale, hands to floor. Now I'm coming back onto my knee, so I've got a little bit of padding that I put in the center of my mat, so I'm coming into deep lunges with my knee down. So you can use a jumper or a pillow, anything, just look after your knees. We're going to step back with the right leg and bring it down onto the floor. If you're very flexible, I want you to focus on strength. So push into your heel and pull it back till tailbone draw up. Control. If you're very tight, you can come deeper. So you can work on the flexibility in your hips. So take your choice, but be mindful which one you're choosing. Don't just take the one that's easy for you. I'm quite strong, so I'm going to focus on some flexibility. Exhale, hands to floor. Untuck the back toe. Step back into high plank, hovering forward and down. Inhale to up dog. Exhale to down dog. Right foot comes forward, left knee comes down. Inhale to rise up. So I'm coming quite far forward here, but again, if you're very flexible, I challenge you to use strength. So push down in your back heel, pull, magnetize your legs together and rise up. So it's very active. Also squeezing glutes, tilting tailbone. Exhale, hands to floor. We're going to start to speed it up. Step your back foot forward. Exhale to fold over the legs. Bend through the knees, slowly rise up, hands through heart center. Inhale to rise. and exhale to fall. Inhale to flat back. Exhale, hands down. Left leg this time goes back. Try and control it. Laying it down onto the floor. Inhale, rise up. Choosing your option. Exhale, hands down. Untuck back toe. Step into a high plank. Hover forward and down. Inhale to rise up. And exhale, downward facing dog. Left foot forward. Right knee down. Inhale to rise up. Exhale, hands to floor, untuck back toe, step it forward, but take control, almost like a standing leg split. Fold forward. Gently bend through the knees, rise up, breathe in. Exhale to fall. Inhale halfway. Exhale, hands down, step right leg back with control, placing it on the floor. Inhale, rise up. Taking your option, exhale, hands down, untuck back toe, move through your flow. Inhale to up dog, and exhale to down dog. Right leg forward between the hands, left knee down. Inhale, rise. Exhale, hands down, untuck back toe. With control, you're stepping that back foot forward. Fold over the legs. Bend through the knees, slowly rise up. And bring hands to heart. Maybe hands come to the sternum or on the chest, and see if you can feel your heart rate rising. Taking a few breaths and closing the eyes and being mindful. And seeing if you're moving any stuck emotion or any of those fear-based feelings around this uncertain time that we're in. Yoga is fantastic for moving energy, moving emotion. Inhale, hands up. Exhale, we fall. Inhale to flat back. Exhale, hands down, bringing them just shoulder width apart. If you want to do a jump, bend the knees. Try and take that control in the hands before you jump back. It's going to take a while to get it nice and quiet, that jump, but you start from somewhere. Bring your knees onto a facing dog. So we're going to try something called a turbo down dog. And what it is we're going to bend our elbows in our down dog and squeeze them together like there's a block in between them. So what this is going to do is turn on all the shoulder muscles. So if you're shaking, you're in the right spot. Bend them even more, squeeze them even more together. Now gaze can just be to the belly to relax the head. I'm looking up because I'm making, bend the knee, open the hip. So here what I'd like to focus on is shoulders are even. So we're not twisting into shoulders. Hips are also even. Bringing the right foot towards the right glute. Relax neck and head down. Lift the knee up higher. Push through that left supporting leg to get into the hamstring of the left leg. Bend the knee even more. Bring the right foot towards the right glute. Lift even higher, getting into the hips. Exhale. Maybe if you have flip dog in your practice, you can flip over onto your back and inhale to gaze forward. Doesn't matter, just stay in your three-legged dog if you don't have your flip dog or your wild thing. Coming back over, inhale into three-legged dog. Exhale, sweep the foot forward, coming into a low lunge and rising up, crescent lunge. Exhale, come a little deeper. So with this crescent lunge, you can bend that back knee if you wish. But today I'd like to focus, if you do have the flexibility, to try and keep it straight and keep the hips straight. If your hips are very tight, you can bend that knee. Exhale into warrior two. So warrior two, front knee over the front ankle, heel to arch alignment, gaze to front middle finger, and sneak that front foot forward a little more, calm a little deeper. Challenge that quad. Activate the quad. Lift the toes on the front foot to also activate all the muscles along the shin to protect the knee. Trikonasana, we straighten the front leg. I actually step the back foot forward a little bit for a triangle. And I'd like you to get your left hand onto your left hip and pull it back and reach forward with your right hand. So what we're doing is we're pulling the left hip back, reaching with the right hand, and then tilt down to try and keep the hips straight and inhale to rise. Gaze can just be to the floor. Now, I'd like you to avoid dropping all the way to the floor. Unless you're grabbing your heel or your toe and pulling up, I want you to focus on strength. So pull up through the top hand, use your core, and just make sure your hips are not twisting towards the front. They're staying open. Relax neck and head. Bend through the front knee to slowly rise up into warrior two. Inhale, hands to center. Turn both toes towards the computer. And take a breath. Hands to heart. Exhale. Hands come behind you. Place your thumbs on the back of your sacrum. Wrap your fingers around your hips. Take a little back bend. Elbows come back towards the back of the room as you exhale and fold forward over the legs. So as you're folding forward, just allow yourself, if you're feeling quite tight, to bend the knees a little bit. Hands can come under your face so you feel nice and secure. Maybe you walk your hands out a little wider. Maybe you place your hands on the outsides of your legs and gently pull yourself down a little. Maybe you can interlace two fingers around the big toe, elbows come out to the side, and you pull yourself a little deeper if it feels okay. Inhale to come up halfway, release that stretch for a moment, and exhale to fold a little more. Inhale to rise up, place hands underneath the face, and from here we're coming into our snake squat. So we squat down onto one side. So we'll start with the left. Now you might be up here, and that's absolutely fine. Just make sure that your knees go in the same way as your toe and your hands are at a heart center. If you're down here in the flexibility zone, then I'd like you to just breathe and focus on the toe going towards the roof and towards the shin to feel this stretch through the back hamstring. Maybe there's a bind for you here. Doesn't matter if there isn't. Inhale, we walk our hands through the center and exhale to the other side. So you'll notice one side's tighter than the other. My side is this side, so I can definitely feel I'm tighter here. So taking your option, if you're up here, that's fine. Just stay in that strength and allow yourself to sink down. Hands come under you. Maybe you challenge yourself, no hands, slowly moving through center to the other side and back down. Be really mindful if you're just using your strength to change, that you listen inside. You can find a bind here as well. Just personal preference. Hands come under you to help you back to center. Walk your feet a little closer. Bend through your knees. Inhale halfway, hands on the hips. Exhale, bend through the knees to protect the hamstrings. Slowly rise up. Turn both feet to face the front of the room or the back, I don't know for you. And step your back foot halfway up. We're coming into pyramid for those who know it. So from here, interlace your hands behind you. First way is to grab your elbows. If you're very bendy and you want to play with namaste, that's cool. Trick is here, you want the hips to be straight and you want them on train track, so you don't want them like this. So make sure they're straight, tilt from the hips and come forward and down. Now you'll probably start feeling the bite in that front hamstring around, and then at that point I'd like you to stop and breathe for a moment. Look at your hips, make sure they're even, not twisting. Inhale to lengthen through spine and exhale to fold. Undoing the hands, placing them underneath you. Maybe inhale to lengthen spine again. Maybe exhale to fold a little further. Coming into standing leg split, we walk the hands in front as we lift the back leg up. So this is a great entry into handstand. So I'm going to cue a little bit more on this one. I'm just swapping sides so don't hit anything. Try and get your position. So you want your shoulders like this, right? So they come a little closer together, coming onto your supporting toes on the floor. Bring them as much as you can over the top of the shoulders. Look in front where you want to go. You know, right between the hands, you want to look in front. Come even more onto the hand and then start to kick up. So that was a really bad one. So as more as you kick up and you try to control that jump, the more you'll eventually start to hold your handstand up. So we'll take a few little jumps here together. And you might get one to hold. And once you're done, just come back into ragdoll. So grabbing the elbows and rocking side to side. This is where your heart really does start to pump. If you did some jumps there, it really gets that cardio going. A great way to step up your yoga practice. Bend through the knees, slowly rise up, hands to heart, and breathe. Inhale to rise, hands overhead. Exhale to fall. Inhale to flat back. Exhale, hands down. Option here, step or jump with control back to your high plank. Knees down or full chaturanga to floor. Inhale to up dog and exhale to down dog. Finding your down dog and having a couple of breaths. Inhale, left foot rises up. Bend the knee, and we're opening the hip flexor here. So shoulders are even, hips are even. Bring that left foot towards the left glute as much as you can. Raise the knee up, push through that right heel to get right into the back of the hamstring on the left side. Maybe from here you start to open the hip even more and twisting a little bit into the hips so you can come over and flip onto your back for your wild thing or your flip dog. If you're doing flip dog, the hips are even towards the roof, the knees are bent and reaching forward. I find this is a little bit safer for the way that my body is than doing wild thing. Exhale, hands onto the floor. Inhale, left leg up, three-legged dog. Exhale, sweep between the hands. Get nice and sturdy into your low lunge. Inhale, rise to crescent lunge. So just have a play here. Bend the knee, feel the stretch through the hip flexor, and straighten the knee. What feels better for you? What do you feel more? There's no real right and wrong here. People have different bodies, so just see what feels good for you. I used to bend my knee a lot, and now I have the flexibility to straighten my knee. Exhale into warrior two. So front knee over front ankle. Make sure your hips are opening, so you still want that heel to arch alignment. Gaze towards middle hand. Walk your front foot forward a little more. Come deeper into the quads. Lift the toes on the front foot. Lift the toes on the back foot. Feel the feet pulling together and rising up, getting that strength. You should start to shake. That's how active this is. Exhale, we start to straighten that back knee. I bring my back leg forward a little bit for my triangle pose. Right hand onto your right hip, pull it back. You're pulling your hips towards back of the room. You're reaching forward with your front and then gently tilting down, still holding that hip back. And inhale, top hand rises up. Gaze can be to bottom hand, doesn't have to look up. One place we don't need any more tension is the neck. So let it relax. If you are on the floor, I challenge you to grab your toe or your ankle and pull up rather than just passively falling into this pose. We're working on strength. Gently bend through the front knee, coming through your warrior two. That protects our hamstring. Inhale to rise up. Turn both your toes towards the front of the room. Fingers on your sacrum, wrap your hands around, elbows back, squeeze glutes, little back bend, and exhale, holding over the legs. I'm going to turn around so you can see me, not to see my asana. And from here, inhale to lengthen and exhale to fold. I'm feeling my right hamstring quite a lot at the moment, so I'm going to bend my knee just a little bit to be a bit more friendly to myself. And we're coming into a twisted fold. So you will need to bring your feet quite a bit closer for this one. The right hand goes to the outside of the left foot, and the left hand goes to outside the right foot. So right hand to left hand to right on the outside. Now this is probably already going to be very deep for a lot of you, so just stay here. And as you pull yourself forward, you'll deepen the stretch. If you do feel like you have a bit more flexibility, you can bring your head underneath your right arm to look towards the left. So you're coming into this deep twist into the spine. Only if it feels good. Just have a play. One more breath and exhale, coming back into your normal twist. And then walking the hands in front of your face. Inhale goes under and the right hand goes over. So you're swapping sides. Inhale to lengthen, exhale to fold. If you wanted that little bit more, you can look underneath the right arm to look over towards the right. So this is a really deep bend and twist into the spine. So only do this if it feels good. If it doesn't feel good, stay in a forward fold. Then exhale, releasing the arm. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, we bend through the knees to protect the hamstring and slowly roll up. Turn both your feet. So I might be doing the same side. Hold on. Interlace your hands behind you and coming into your forward fold. Pyramid. So lengthen through spine and exhale to fold a little more. If you're feeling like you can go a little further, you can release the hands, place them onto the floor, which will allow you to go a little deeper. Maybe you want to fold over that front left foot. Is that right, Ross? I think I've swapped sides, but do the other side from what you were doing. If you need a little bit of protection of that hamstring, you can do that. Just make sure that you're bending a little bit through that front knee. Coming into standing leg split. So lifting the back leg up into your splits. So I think it's your left leg up this time. Bring your hands together. Look between the hands first, then in front of the hands. Come even more onto that supporting leg. Push up through shoulders and then try some little jumps. So the more, if you look forward, even further forward between the hands, the more likely you'll get into a handstand. Now, doing this against the wall is a good idea to start because falling out when you're starting is quite scary. So if you have a wall, I recommend have a couple little jumps now against a wall to get used to the feeling of a handstand. Just coming into ragdoll if you've had enough as well. You don't have to stay doing this. And seeing if you can find any of that alignment that we were talking about with bringing in those ribs underneath so you're nice and straight. Ragdoll when you're ready. Having some breaths. Heart will be racing. Maybe it even feels better to come up into standing position. And breathe. I know after having my head low for quite a long time, it actually feels better to slowly stand up. How you going, guys? You still with me? Torture on a Saturday. Good thing about headstands is it pushes your head full of all this beautiful blood. Actually, anti-aging. Woohoo! So it also gives you a little bit of a head rush, which is why handstands are also very addictive. So inhale, hands up to sky, and exhale to fold. If you want to feel invigorated through your day, do a few handstands. Inhale to halfway lift. Exhale, hands down. Now option to step or to jump back. So if you're jumping back, try to get that control. Option knees on the floor or full chaturanga to floor. Inhale to rise up and exhale to fold. Meeting me back in your downward facing dog. Gently bring knees to floor. I'll take a moment just to realign our spine. Placing the hands on the knees, chin gently tucks in towards the chest. What that does is elongate through the back of the neck. Coming down onto your glutes, and we'll come into a bridge pose, into a Navasana, boat pose, and we'll come down slowly. So grabbing the backs of your hamstrings is a great place to start till we're all together. Then open the chest. If you want to challenge, straighten the legs, but don't hunch forward with the shoulders. Shoulders should be nice and open. We're going to go down for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. That wasn't funny, right? Nobody, you can't hear anyone laugh anymore. So you're like, I don't even think that's funny. Bring your heels in towards your glutes. We're going to do some heel touches. With handstands, core is key. So we're lifting the head and chest up, and we're doing some little heel touches. And we're going to keep going until I say stop. So if your neck does start to hurt, you can use one hand to actually out. Coming back into our handstand prep. Fish pose is fantastic for that. So like what we were practicing, push your lower back into the floor, straighten your legs out, and we're just going to lift the head and shoulders off the floor, but keep pushing that lower back in. So hands are facing up, palms to roof. Push the lower back into the floor even more. If the head starts to hurt, you can place the hands behind the head, and you'll really start to feel that core engage. The legs are on the floor. If you want to take it a little further, you can lift them slightly. That's going to really make it hard. And hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Coming down. If your lower back comes off the floor, it means your core is not strong enough to hold you, so you should do the step down from whatever version you were doing. Lower back should never leave the floor, should be protected. So some little V-ups, the last abs that we have today. So hands can be behind you. This is step 1. And as you inhale, let's do like this. So let's do 10. So inhale, exhale in. Inhale out, and exhale in. Inhale out, exhale in. Inhale out, in, out, in. I think we got 3, 2, 1. Let's do 1 for good luck because I wasn't counting properly. 1 more. And exhale down, stretching the hands up and the feet down. So this whole class is just to get you ready to be warm enough for your handstand practice. Bring your legs in, coming into a bridge pose. So we're going to stretch out that core. So tickle the backs of your heels and slowly rise your hips up. Double action, we get a nice stretch through the hips, but we're also working in the glutes and we're getting a back bend. Roll the shoulders underneath you, open the hips up. Like lift the toes, but push the whole foot onto the floor, the bottom of the foot. So just the toes are rising up. Squeeze the glutes, push the hips towards roof, and keep active through those quads as well. So everything's strong. Push interlaced hands into the floor to open chest. And exhale, releasing hands and slowly coming out. So bring the knees in together and toes out to the side. Make sure lower back is on the floor. And then windscreen wiping the legs from side to side. Two more bridges. So tickle the backs of your hips and push your hips up. Hands could come underneath you. If you want to take it to the next level, bring your right foot into the center and lift your left foot up. Or if you want to take it a little further, lift your foot right up to the roof, but keep the toes active, so flex towards the shin. Bring the left foot down, swap it over so the right foot comes up, or all the way up to the roof, keep it flexed. Slowly bring it down, and gently coming down upper back, middle back, and lower back. Option to windscreen wipe the legs, or come into butterfly. So if your lower back is happy and is on the floor doing this, you can come into here. It feels quite good. Balls of the feet are touching, knees out to the side. If your lower back is rising, come back into a normal twist. Last bridge, tickle backs of heels, rising up, rolling shoulder blades under, staying active. You can come into wheel if that's in your practice. If you do want to come into wheel, hands come behind you and face towards the body. Inhale and exhale to push up. Coming out of your wheel, you look towards your chest and slowly bring yourself down, upper back, middle back, lower back. So always bringing the chin to chest first, never landing on the top of the head. Wherever you are, windscreen wipe one more time. We do this to make sure our lower back gets a twist after compression. So that's the whole point, is twisting out the back to ensure that we're not doing any damage. Flipping over onto your belly, come into an upward facing dog. And exhale into a downward facing dog. So we're going to have, today's a little bit of a fun practice day. So I'm going to use Ross as my wall because so you can see what I'm doing. So Ross is going to stand here. He's going to stand in that direction so I don't hit anything I shouldn't be hitting. So you need a blank wall in front of you, preferably something that you can exit out of without breaking anything. So just have a look around if there's anything you can kick, and just avoid breaking anything in your house. I can't break Ross. He's a man of iron. So how you know you're in the right spot, you can watch me first, or if you've seen this before, you can do it with me. I'm going to start with my right leg. I'll straighten my right leg out and check if my right leg is straight against the wall. And I'm standing, I'm seeing all these comments pop up. People are probably laughing. And that's where you know exactly where you should be. We're doing a down dog on the wall. We turn around and look exactly where our feet are. That's where our hands need to go. So the hands come onto the floor. Now remember your training. You're not doing it wide. You're doing it right under the shoulders. This is so you can stack all the joints. So place your shoulder. Step back with one foot. Give me some pushback, Ross. Thank you. And straightening the legs. So what I'm looking for is that my weight is over my hands. So, and I'm not bending into my back. So I am bending a little bit. I can see that. So which way do I have to go? That way, yeah. So trying to straighten the legs, trying to keep the weight over the hands, look between the hands, hold for as long as you can. If you need a break for your neck, you can look towards your feet for a moment. It can help you. Hold for as long as possible. And when you've had enough, gently bring yourself down. And we'll do some wrist stretches together and then do that again. Sorry, Ross. You have to come back in a minute. My lovely attendant, Ross. So with our wrist stretches, make a fist with your hand and grab around your wrist nice and tight, and then bend your fist towards your face. So you're pulling through all of these muscles and all of the tendons through the front of the hand, and it should feel quite nice. Wall of steel, Craig is saying. So grabbing the wrist and bringing it towards your face, and just using that as a bit of a massage. And coming down onto the floor. If you want to try a different version, hands towards you, gently come back. So this is preparing you for when you're in a handstand, you almost fall over, and the thing that stops you is the clawing of your fingers. So that's what this is preparing you for. That movement in handstand when you're about to fall over and you push yourself back. So this is just so you don't pull any of your tendons or ligaments or anything when you're doing your handstand. For decompression, we pop the tops of the hands onto the floor and then sit back. So this is decompressing. This is the opposite of what happens in a handstand. So just being really gentle, because if you're not used to being on your hands, it can be quite a lot. So do take it slow. Ready for option 2? Let's come back. So option 2 is we're going to raise one leg up and down. So you can do the first option, or you can come a little deeper. When you raise the leg, you're obviously putting more weight. So checking your lovely wall, looking nice today, wall. Getting one foot and straightening it so you know that your weight's going to be directly over your hands. Turn around, place the hands down, and then checking that they're the right distance, and then finding the wall. I'm going to step up now, and then starting to straighten the legs. I can't see how straight I am. I've got a bit of a bend in my back, so I need to straighten them a little more. I'm going to move my hands a little bit further forward to allow me to do that. So we're going to lift the left leg up over the top of the hands. So you're actually getting more weight over the hands. Straightening that supporting leg and holding for 3. Sorry, putting more weight onto you, Ross. For 2, for 1. And then we swap to the other side. So lifting the right foot up and holding for 3, for 2, and for 1. And now you can have a play and do that again if you want. Otherwise, come down, have a break. It's much harder doing this against a moving object. And making sure that you're even. So do the last side if you're still with me. Come back up as soon as you want to if you've had a break. To come out, we're going to try and control. We're going to bend the knees, come onto the tippy toes, and control coming forward as much as you can. Whew. How you feeling? How's everybody doing after that? Hope you're still with me. So we'll just stretch out. Different option for stretching the wrists is you get your hand and get your thumb and pull it back gently. And then the first finger, letting the wrist be soft. And work your way along. Also gives you an opportunity to breathe. Being upside down is a lot of work. It also is extra cardio on the heart because your heart is pumping the opposite direction. So it is also cardio, which is why if you introduce handstands into your yoga, it's really going to help you improve your fitness, not just your flexibility, which is why I love it. Why I gently am trying to introduce people to getting their handstands in. Even a few little jumps every time you do standing leg splits is really great to get the heart rate up. Once you've done all of those, you can meet me on the floor with your legs nice and wide. We'll do one passive stretch forward to a wide leg forward fold. So we started preparing for this standing up. So this is just the same, but laying down. So moving your glutes out of the way, making sure that your hip bones are tilting forward. So your pelvic tilt is forward. Now, inhale to lengthen through spine and exhale to fold. So at first, I don't go very far. And I need to rearrange my legs a little bit. I actually twist my quads inward slightly to allow me to move forward. And I get my hands and I place them on the inside of my hip joints and I pull the quad out of the way to allow more space. So what can happen is that your hips are actually stopped by your quad muscles from tilting forward, so you can help yourself into a deeper fold. So keep your toes active towards your shin. Inhale, we lengthen through spine. So what I mean by that is you walk your hands forward and actually physically pull yourself forward, which creates space in the lower back. And maybe then there's a little bit more opportunity to fold. Some days I can definitely do better in this pose than other days. Inhale to lengthen, exhale to fold again. Maybe making some fists or getting a pillow under the head, or if you have blocks at home, placing a block under the head to allow yourself to relax. Gently walking the hands up. So the neutral spine coming back to the top. And we'll go over towards the right into a side bend. So the right hand goes onto the inside of the right leg and the left hand comes up. So this might be it for you today. What I'd like you to avoid to do is to roll forward. I'd like you to have your armpit open towards the sky and relax neck and head. What can also be nice is the right hand can actually just hold the head if you can get there and it feels comfortable for you. A little bit further, if you have the flexibility, you might be able to reach up with that left hand and grab the foot. The right hand may be able to come inside, grab the left hip joint and allow yourself to come into a deeper twist. Trying to keep both glutes on the floor. So if one is starting to lift, just be aware of that. And finding your breath here. This is one of my favorite stretches. Gently using your left hand on the floor to slowly push yourself up, keep your neck relaxed, coming out of whichever pose you were just in. Left hand comes on the inside of the left leg, reach the right hand up and gently stretch over. So something like this might be it today for you, and that's okay. You can stay there. Maybe you can use your left hand just to hold your head if it feels more relaxing. If you do want to go further and you can reach over so that your right arm grabs or touches the left foot, then You may be able to have your left hand go towards your right hip and open up. So again, if you're like this and you're hunching forward, I'd recommend you to stay in the previous version. If you can't open the chest and the side body, then it means that the flexibility is not there yet. So just stay in the previous option. And you want to use your left shoulder on the inside of your left thigh to twist open to allow a deeper version of the twist. Let the neck and head be heavy. So if you're a little bit further up, you can just hold your head and just hang out here. If that arm does get really sore, you can just let it relax slightly to the side for a neck opener. So the right hand goes slightly pointing down towards the right hand side and allow the neck and head to be heavy. It actually releases the neck. That is an option if you're not getting into the full expression today. Left hand comes onto the floor. Slowly help yourself up. And bringing your legs together using your hands. So we've just done a deep stretch. It's just have to be gentle coming out of that. Come into a double forward fold. So reaching the chest forward, hovering forward over the legs. So bending the knees a little bit can help here. I actually move my feet a little wider because for me, it feels a lot better. Just for the way my hips and my body is made, this feels a lot better for me. Maybe you can play with that yourself. Keeping the chest open, so we want to avoid like pulling and hunching through the upper back. The upper back, we should try to keep it as straight as possible. So we're really feeling through the backs of the hamstrings, but also through getting length through that lower spine. So as soon as we're crunching and curving, then it's taking away the integrity of the stretch. So keep chest open. Hands can just land wherever they land. And then gently drawing the chin towards the chest to elongate through back of the neck. Walking hands up and bringing the knees in towards, so the backs of the feet in towards your glutes, and we'll slowly lower ourselves down onto the floor. So trying to keep that control in the core so you don't just flop down all the way down. Bring the right knee in towards the chest, interlace the fingers around the knee, pull the knee up towards the right armpit. And exhale, bringing it over the top of the body, coming into a supine twist. If you wish to deepen the twist and get into your hamstrings, the left arm can grab the right foot and you can straighten the leg over the top of the body. Trying to keep both shoulders on the floor. And just neck can be neutral, so no need to twist if it doesn't feel good. You can just look towards the roof. Bending that knee and bringing it in. Straightening both legs. Inhale, left knee up towards upper armpit, so interlace fingers around shin, pulling up left knee towards left armpit. And exhale, bringing it over the top of the body into your twist. If you did it on the other side, so lengthening, straightening that top leg, right hand grabs the outside of the left foot to straighten and feel through the back of the leg a little more, only if it feels good. Gently bend the knee, coming back to center, taking any last movements you feel you need today. Happy baby is always a nice last option. So this time pushing lower back into floor, flexing toes towards shin, pulling down on the feet so that the knees are coming towards the armpits. And we're really elongating through the spine here, so not curving. This is going to help you really realign your back. And now finding your last pose, your Shavasana, your resting pose. So laying down your back, spreading the feet wide and the hands wide, taking up space. Taking a big breath in together. Exhale, release. One more of those. Inhale. Exhale. And taking this time to scan your body, feeling into yourself and this space you've created. Gently wiggling your fingers and your toes. Maybe making little circles with the feet. You're welcome to stay as long as you wish in your Savasana. Otherwise, you can come with me. Inhale, reaching hands up overhead and give yourself a big stretch. And exhale, bringing knees in towards the chest. Interlace fingers and gently pull the knees in. Maybe a little rock from side to side to massage the lower back. I like to make little circles with the knees in one way and then the other way. Exhale now, folding and over onto your favorite side. So keeping in the knees in towards chest. Maybe the bottom arm is a pillow. And keeping eyes closed. Gently helping yourself up to a comfortable seated position. I encourage you to keep the eyes closed. Hands can rest gently on the tops of the knees. As we take a moment to go inward and just observe any shifts from the start of the class. Places and environments of uncertainty can bring out a lot of fear. But what if we could start to move from that fear to a place of opportunity, of feeling like we can find a creative space, find creative solutions and opportunities in life. Whether that's a time to study something you've always wanted to, or start drawing or painting again. Whether it's the opportunity to call loved ones and talk more often. An opportunity to change your business structure, your business plan, your model. Through every moment of uncertainty and challenge is also a moment of opportunity to rise. Exhale, hands to heart center and breathe into that space of opportunity. Exhale, release. And now I invite you to think of one thing in your life that you can see as an opportunity from our current situation. And we're going to hold on to that today. Namaste, everyone. I hope you enjoyed the practice and enjoyed some different training, some technique focused training for handstands. I really enjoyed working with you and doing this. Well done for embracing the unknown and losing that normal control of something you're used to doing. So well done, everyone. Have a great Saturday.